Let's get in here, people. We gotta have a show tonight. There's just too much stuff going on, my pretties. Listen here. Don't forget to hit that like when you're walking in the door, man, because when you're walking out, you're gonna be feeling sad. If you haven't hit that like or whatever, you're gonna feel soft on the mic. Come on. So hit that like. We're gonna love you for it. I gotta tell you real quick. Hi everybody, welcome to the show. So I hope that some of you got a chance to see the short that I put out earlier. It's yeah. I posted it on my site and I posted it on Shitter. I was gonna post it on Threads, but it was being wonky. Yes, I have the evidence. So I broke down and cried. And oh, Sandy. No, I broke down the biggest lie of Jim Jordan's, the biggest dumbest lie of Jim Jordan's Hunter Biden accusations. And yes, I put my shorts online. It's an auction, and I'm trying to raise money for charity. That one being me. I got to try a stash. You think that works? You think it looks good on me, man? I don't think so. I think it's gonna look funky and you're gonna drive people strange. Come on. It ain't right. It ain't right, man. So, I always wondered, like, how that became a radio character voice. I can do this voice forever. You know what I mean? Like somebody just decided. It's kind of like the play that funky music white boy singing voice. I was a boogie singer playing in the rock and roll band. Right? I don't know who walks up to the mic and goes, "Okay, guys, band members, okay, hear me out. I think from now on, I'm gonna sing like this. Okay, wow, yeah. Really? That's gonna be singing? Hey, Neil Young has a career. All right, well, touche. I guess it's all on my babies. So, yeah, Wolfman hack. It is club style. I don't get it. It's very strange. Oh, my overhead light. This is not. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. So let's get started. Well, I guess we start off on a sorrowful note, a sad note, a note that will, obviously something in D minor, the saddest of all keys, and that is, of course, because not only is the NDAA vote going on right now, but, ladies and gentlemen, farewell speech from Kevin McCarthy. This might be one of our last times. It's certainly our last time hearing it on the floor. Hearing his, I guess, substitute teacher condescending breathy voice, again and again. It's 8 minutes long. I don't know that I can stand it. Let's take a shot, shall we? I gotta know what the hell.
Well, thank you very much. I want to thank.
Oh, hold on. I got to shift. I had my thing up in my headphones. It's gonna be. It'll create a loop, and that's ugly. Okay, this is better.
The Dean, Mr. Calvert, for putting this together into my
putting this together. This empty room.
Colleagues from California. I'm so.
Thanks to the four of you for showing up. I never realized how cavernous this room sounds when you're unpopular and of no use to anyone. Anyone.
So very, very proud of you and to my friends for coming. I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, his friends, Mr. and Mrs. Friend. Louis Friend. 6'2", blue eyes. He said he lived in Baltimore, but may have lied. That's all I can remember, Mom.
Constituents, thank you. Thank you for ever giving me this opportunity.
Forever giving me this opportunity? All right.
To serve you. To America.
Yeah. Well, a third of it anyways.
I loved every single day.
No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. You did not. You did not.
Less than 13,000 people.
You can love the job and not love every single day. Shut the fuck up. Just say you love this job. You love doing the job. You love doing it. And even when it was difficult, you were inspired the next day to get up and try again. But don't fucking, whatever.
Ever be giving the privilege or the honor.
Ever be giving. Fuck, I never knew that a farewell speech could be this good.
Less than 13,000 people have ever been given the privilege or the honor to serve in this body.
Ever be given. Less than 13,000 people ever be given.
To those colleagues on the other side of the aisle,
I suppose that makes you special then. I thought politicians weren't above the rest of us and they were like some elite bullshit, but now you're like, I'm part of a club of 13,000. Fuck all y'all.
I thank you for the work you've done.
Thank you for the work that you have done.
We may disagree at times.
Uh-huh.
I disagreed with the vote on this one, too.
I lost my job.
But one thing I think we must quite...
Did he say wooden thing?
With the vote on this one, too. But one thing I think we must...
Wooden thing I'm thinking about doing...
Must quite understand. And if there's advice I can give...
Oh, dear.
Do not be fearful if you believe your philosophy brings people more freedom.
Do not be fearful if you believe your philosophy brings people more freedom. You mean like women, LGBT people, and poor people, and people who aren't uber rich and can't get $230 million worth of loans forgiven magically? Which freedoms are we talking about? Because I don't know if you noticed, but you guys singularly took away more women's rights in this year since fucking before suffrage.
Do not be fearful.
Fearful.
That you could lose your job over it.
Because you might lose your job, but at least those bitches are losing their rights. Am I right? High five. Give it up top. Right, ladies? Am I right? Am I right, ladies? What the fuck?
I knew the day we decided to make sure to choose to pay our troops.
Okay.
While war was breaking out, instead of shutting down, was the right decision. Also,
all right. I think he like combined three things in that sentence.
So knew
like three different dates.
a few would make a motion. Somehow they disagreed with that decision.
Somehow?
Do it anyways. I would do it all again. But there's so much we have been able...
Of course you would do it all again. You were kicked out because well, here's the thing. If you did it all again, you'd have to stop doing it again, because the one thing you should have fucking changed was giving them that one note kick your ass out the door vote, dummy.
To accomplish in a short amount of time. I watched on
Pornhub
on a clip
Matt's phone
the other day, and they took a short clip of a quote of mine.
Oh, that's nice of them. And you're watching clips of yourself? I don't really do that. It's interesting because I do this so often. I don't have time. I'd love to though. I love the sound of my own voice and seeing myself do stuff, but I'm too busy working. Anyways, you were looking at a clip of yourself, were you?
And I had the privilege of being leader for 5 years.
Yeah, but you guys were out of power for 4 of them.
And I think about, did I leave this place better than I received it?
No.
I remember sitting where Congressman...
And by the way, the only way you were within fucking shooting distance is because it sucked so bad when you arrived.
Calvert was, and it was the State of the Union. The Democrats had won the majority. I had got elected minority leader while another colleague from my state, Nancy Pelosi, got elected speaker.
A woman. I'll show you, ladies. Now we know where the grudge about this came from. This isn't about like abortion or anything like that. It's just like, I lost my job to a lady parts lady.
I watched the Democrats stand up and
Fuck, man, that room sounds hollow. There's a definite shortage of bodies in there during this.
they were very diverse. They looked like America. I watched us stand up. We had lost the majority.
But then we got Byron Donalds and like 2 other people, and poof, we're as diverse as the Democrats. Crazy. Or, well, as much as we want to be. Well, a little more than we want to be. Yeah, that was a big cough. The only people that showed up are people with the new COVID variant.
I quote and say we looked like one of the most restrictive country clubs in America. And I thought at that moment
That it would change, and it didn't.
I could be the leader of a declining party, or I can focus.
Wait a minute, asshole. This isn't how you find yourself, your way to like. So I supported a little-known congressman in a new district in New York. I gave him a shot. And that man was George Santos. I think. It might be DeVolder might be his last name. He might be American or Brazilian. Anyways, he was a guy that really gave us, he's Hispanic, supposedly, according to one of his last names, and he's gay, which is definitely true because he was accused of sexually harassing male members of his staff, which is so weird on our side of the aisle because, right, ladies? And
Focus on what I know brought me to this party.
the fact that, like, Bakersfield is lunatic right wing and kind of a middle and nowhere city in California.
Conceived in liberty, dedicate the proposition that we are all equal.
Yeah, something like that. Now, tell me again how when when Joe Biden breezes past the words in that he's a fucking lunatic, but I don't know what the fuck you just said. He's got Joe's got dementia if he says it like that, but this is the former Speaker of the House.
Conceived in liberty, dedicate the proposition that we are all equal.
Dedicated proposition, blah, 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 blah. I don't like prepositions, okay? I don't like conjunctions. I don't need them.
And I would take that message to places people didn't think they would vote for a Republican.
Uh-huh. And
that California delegation at that time was pretty small. And yes, it was competitive having the speaker from California. She would put out that she was going to win a lot more seats in California. But I'm proud to say, in those election cycles, we picked up 5 more seats in California.
Because they created 5 more seats in California because of population, dum-dum.
That's larger than our overall majority.
That's right. If California would just like get their shit together, well, you guys wouldn't have a majority. You're right.
5 more in New York, in Oregon, in Arizona. And in that same time frame.
So I'm only here because of gerrymandering, which is, I think, one of George Santos's other aliases, if I'm not mistaken. He calls himself Gerrymander at leather bars.
The party I love lost in the Senate both cycles, lost the presidency, but we won. The secret?
The secret? Cheating on elections. Yes, the entire elections were fraudulent, and obviously the Democrats rigged it so that only the dumbest Republicans would win, so they would eventually destroy their own party. That's right. Donald Trump was cheated, but I was put in there by that very cheating, and I want to keep my job at this place, but I can't, so fuck it.
The quality of the candidate. When I looked at Young Kim, Michelle Steele, John Duarte, David Valadao,
George Santos.
These are unbelievable seats that idea wins in. And I look at our party today, it doesn't look like it did 5 years ago.
Right, yeah, they were actually passing bills, I think.
We're winning in places you haven't seen before.
That's because they're new districts. We're winning in districts that just now exist.
When I look to the future,
I see assistant managing a business in Bakersfield.
I think it's much brighter.
Really?
Why? Because the ideas are different. When we look at the time I served as Speaker, we didn't ignore
I would just say months.
the border. We actually secured our border with the smallest majority here to govern. Even when we had a large one, we could not do it.
So with your teensy tiny little majority, you secured the border. So what is all this the border's wide open bullshit?
And that came from the subcommittee of the chairman of Tom McClintock.
Boom.
Brought people from all sides of the aisle together.
Because the committee is made up of both sides of the... Oh, God.
When I watched the gas price just skyrocket under the Biden
Skyrocket?
administration.
Uh-huh. And then go back down?
We didn't sit back. We made it our number one priority and passed energy independence.
What? Oh, so we're energy independent now, I guess. Okay, cool. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Yeehaw.
The public sits above, but for those 4 years, they didn't get to. We opened this place back up.
Uh-huh. Especially on January 6th. Yeah, you think the border was open. You should have seen the doors and windows on the fucking Capitol.
Because it is the people's house.
Yeah, but, I mean, you got to come in single file and shit like that. It's not a giant squat, dumbass.
We created the Select Committee on China
It's also not a house. You know, kind of like Mar-a-Lago.
to make sure America can be competitive.
Yes, can be competitive. Yes, we want our congealed butter stored in jars to be better than India's, I guess.
We put our accountability on the weaponization so the American citizen would be protected.
What? To put our accountability on the weaponization so that the American citizens can be protected.
America can be competitive.
Be competitive. Yeah, we heard that.
We put our accountability on the weaponization
Yeah,
so the American citizen would be protected.
that's right. We're going to teabag the weaponization with our accountability. We're just going to nut drop accountability. Put our accountability on what? You do realize that Speaker of the House should, I guess, have some skill along with it, or?
We made the largest cut
Uh-huh.
in American history, and this body voted for it.
Oh, yeah? Who'd you circumcise?
Welfare reform to get people and help them to get back to work.
Welfare reform to get people and help them to get back to work. Just get those people and help them back to work by forcing them to go back to work if they're on welfare, whether they really could or not.
The largest rescissions in American history, where money was appropriated and not used, but only in Washington would you let it still be there.
Dude, that's money Trump set aside during his presidency that wasn't needed because the Biden administration was 20 times more efficient than anybody actively in the administration previous. That's why you brought the money back. They're talking about COVID funds that weren't spent.
We watched across the country crime rise, and D.C. want to go the same way.
D.C. wanted to go more. They were behind. They didn't have as much crime, and they wanted more crime. And they're like, "What am I going to do?" And we're like, "We'll just maybe we'll have a crime school." Trump could teach.
First time in 30 years, this body stood up.
Oh, you mean since Joe Biden's crime bill that Trump was going to run to the left of, and now everybody wants to double down on?
170 on the other side of the aisle thought you should decriminalize carjacking and others. The president
No, they didn't. And by the way, for minors, simmer down.
threatened to veto it.
I'm a big fan of treating minors like minors and adults like adults. And I kind of feel like only a pedophile would want children tried as adults because they're like, Well, if that kid can make an adult decision, certainly this kid that I abducted and put a rag over their face and took into my van and drove up into the hills with can make an adult decision.
But we did it anyways.
Uh-huh.
And we stopped them and it became law.
You interceded in DC's local like city council bill. Look, DC's just, it's the capital. It's not its own city. That's never going to, like, DC, taxation without representation, that bullshit about DC, never going to fly. People need to get off that and get Puerto Rico statehood. Well, I might add, that would be easier and quicker and more important. But they just overrode the locals, which they do all the time. Just most of the time they do it in secret. You miss Diamond, or is it Silk? You miss Diamond, I guess. You might miss Silk, even though she's still around.
We believe in building things in America.
Yeah, you mean like chips plants, like Biden is doing, or like bridges and roads and airports and stuff like he's doing with the infrastructure bill, or oh, you mean Infrastructure Week during Trump, which was building. There was a carrier plant. No, that never happened. No, that didn't happen either.
But we watched many times. The laws we thought that were passed before to protect us only slowed us and weakened us.
Huh?
So for the first time in 40 years, we reformed NEPA.
Yeah, I would get some sort of like etching of that. You know what? Have somebody embroider that on a pillow and bite it.
We did all this with a slim majority.
Uh-huh.
But what I'm most proud of is what the future holds.
By the way, all the things you did with a, quote, slim majority is stuff that there were enough Democrats that in both the House and the Senate that thought it was important too. So the idea that you got, no, I don't care. Like, I could fight with this, but it's just like, what the fuck?
The legacy
Uh-huh.
will be about the ones I see who serve here now.
Yes, people who are not quitting will continue forward doing their job or not doing their job or doing someone else's job or not doing someone else's job or something like that.
And I know the potential of...
I believe the children are our future, except the ones that, Matt Gaetz is hanging around with, in which case their children's will be the future at some point because Matt will be too old to, never mind.
What they will do. I know the potential of this nation.
Do you? You've seen Bakersfield, and if you drive through Bakersfield, one of the things you always say is, well, I guess it has potential. Sure as shit ain't there yet.
I am so thankful to be given the opportunity.
Get on with it.
To serve. I will be departing, but that doesn't
Or defarting.
mean I'll stop serving.
Yes, as a matter of fact, can we get our check? Because we're not going to have dessert. Well, we're going to have dessert. We're going to go someplace else. We just thought we'd come here for appetizers and that kind of stuff and watch part of the game. But you don't need to know that. Anyways.
Those across this nation should join together.
I agree.
To become those
swingers parties, kind of like the Moms for America or Moms for Liberty chick and her ex, except don't act like him. Be more like her. Cool down with the threesomes, I guess. Is that what you mean? No, not that. Hands Across America. I remember that.
Citizen legislators.
Uh-huh.
We cannot let this body fail to do the jobs.
Oh, believe me. This body does not fail to do the jobs. You know what I'm saying, baby?
They're so most basic that we should do every day.
They're what? They're so most basic that we should do every day.
Jobs. They're so most basic that we should do every day.
What? I guess I agree. I don't know what I'm agreeing to. They're so most basic that we should do every day. It's fucking... I'm starting to not feel as bad that you lost the speakership at this point. Is that the point of this speech?
And we should never allow this body to stop for doing what is right.
Yes, right. Never let this body stop for doing what is right. Stop for doing? Gee, was he practicing talking to Trump? What? This is... It's just... What is happening? Listen to this again.
Those across this nation should join together
I
to
agree.
become those citizen legislators.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot let this body fail to do the jobs they're so most basic that we should do every day. And we should never allow this body to stop for doing what is right.
Holy shit. That's amazing. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. What does he have in his head? Refrigerator poetry? It's just, who is shuffling the magnets in Kevin McCarthy's head? Stop doing what is right. Oh God. Oh God. We all owe George W. Bush an apology. I mean, I swear to God, he didn't even bring it out at the end. You know what I mean? Like, you could see some people, like, they have an early flub, but they find, like, okay, I inverted the tense of that, so I'm just going to fucking yank the stick back and just give it a lot of throttle and hopefully not hit the ground. And it got worse. All right, one more time, because I don't know what the shit.
Be departing, but that doesn't mean I'll stop serving.
Nope. Yeah.
Those across this nation should join together to become those citizen legislators.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot let this body fail to do the jobs they're so most basic that we should do every day. And we should never allow this body to stop for doing what is right.
I couldn't. I ran the whole thing without stopping it. I had to, and I don't know. What the? This is his farewell speech. This motherfucker is stepping down. Oh, God. Jesus. What a mess. Oh. I'm sorry. Okay, one more time. This is going to make me nuts, but I can't figure out what the shit he's actually trying to say.
But that doesn't mean I'll stop serving.
All right, yeah.
Those across this nation should join together to become those citizen legislators.
What do you mean? People should get elected in pairs? What? That doesn't make any sense either.
We cannot let this body fail to do the jobs.
Yeah.
They're so most basic that we should do every day. And we should never allow this body to stop for doing what is right. So if you come across that question,
if I do what?
What is right? So if you come across that question,
If I come across that question? If I come all over that question? What? If you come across that question?
of whether you,
Dude, you should not be winging this. You should be looking at notes. This is terrible.
you should do what's right out
Uh-huh.
of fear of losing your job,
Uh-huh.
do it anyways,
You already said that part.
because it's the right thing to do.
maybe it isn't. Maybe giving Matt Gaetz the ability to get you fired with one vote is not the right thing to do, stupid.
And this is what the nation requires.
Well, yes, this is what the nation requires. You losing your job. No, I'm sorry. You quitting, because this is you quitting. This isn't you leaving the speakership. This isn't his farewell to the speakership. He's stepping down.
I think putting people before politics
Is a lot of P's in one sentence.
is always the right answer. And I thank my friends for their kind words. I thank them for their friendship that will not end. And I thank this nation
Oh, you're welcome, buddy.
for creating a body
Like mine. I'm sorry. No, what?
that is represented by the people.
Sure. We didn't do that. The founding fathers set up this system, you tit.
I think we should rise to the occasion.
This body should definitely rise to the occasion. I'm gonna rise. I'm gonna rise. I'm gonna rise to it.
One more time. With that, I yield back. Thank you.
You yield back. With that, I yield back forever. That's nice. Getting a rousing round of applause from the 13 people in the room. Oh, good Lord. I had no idea how wonderful that would be.